Yesterday, the Senate hosted a hearing about the rise in political violence and temperature in our country, and the left's main argument was that it's a both sides issue. It goes both ways, so there's no one really to blame. Take a look.
To demonize one side or the other, where there's more on one side or the other, I don't see how that helps us get anywhere, whether it's more left or more right, by having a focus on whether it's left or right wing.
It is the fault of both parties in differing degrees.
We've seen an increase of violence across the board.
To say it's just one and not the other is to deepen the problem.
The right had a different tactic. They brought examples with them of left-wing violence. Take a look.
In Butler, Pennsylvania, he escaped a sniper's bullet by a centimeter. In West Palm Beach, another would-be assassin healthcare CEO was gunned down in cold blood on a New York street. Across the country, federal officers were hunted like prey. On July 4th, 11 members of an Antifa terror cell carried out a coordinated ambush. Just 3 weeks later, a transgender shooter entered a Catholic elementary school in Minneapolis and opened fire on hundreds of children while they prayed. 2 weeks after that, Charlie Kirk was murdered while speaking to students in Utah. In El Paso, an arsonist set fire to a church holding a vigil in his memory. A week later, a man opened fire into an ABC news station in Sacramento. And just last week, an anarchist radical was arrested for placing a $45,000 bounty on Pam Bondi. A week after the ABC shooting, a sniper opened fire on an ICE facility in Dallas. A man who flew across the country to murder Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
Burning of various American cities throughout the so-called Summer of Love in 2020. Multiple assassination attempts against Trump. ICE agents have been under attack, personally, not just as a group. His goal? To assassinate Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
100 consecutive nights of violence in Portland, Oregon. Threats against ICE officers, other government officials, and even Attorney General Bondi just yesterday.
The Covenant School Massacre in Nashville, the Black Lives Matter riots, an attack by Antifa that targeted me personally, as well as conservative college students.
In 2021, officers and citizens were injured in a violent, pre-planned riot carried out by Antifa with their attack on pregnancy crisis centers. In the 5 months after the Dobbs decision was leaked, more than 100 churches, pregnancy resource centers, and pro-life organizations across the country were attacked.
Weather Underground, an organization which blew up part of this very building. This is a man who told for a Republican to be murdered, for his children to be murdered, for the children to die in their mother's arms in order to persuade the Republican to change his policy views, and a man who says he would urinate on the graves of multiple Republicans.
The doxing of ICE agents, the doxing of Border Patrol agents.
In 2020, DHS officers stood on the front lines in Portland, facing more than 100 consecutive nights of siege against the Marco Hatfield Federal Courthouse.
And the left brought some examples too.
The 2012 Goodwark shooting in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. The 2015 Mother Emanuel AME Church shooting in Charleston targeting Black Americans. The 2018 Tree of Life Synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh targeting Jewish Americans. January 6, 2021. The 2019 Walmart shooting in El Paso targeting Latino Americans. January 6, 2021. And the 2022 Top Supermarket shooting in Buffalo targeting Black Americans.
January 6.
And a January 6 rioter was arrested for allegedly threatening to kill the House Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries.
Insurrection of January 6, 2021.
The assassinations of Minnesota House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hartman and her husband, and the attempted assassination of Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. We will never forget January 6.
They say the first step on the road to recovery is admitting that you have a problem. And the Senate committee hearing did just that. It identified the problem. On the left, we have a disproportionate amount of violence from the political sphere coming, ideology-driven violence. And that's a good thing for us to know so we can do something about it. Now, we just need them to do something about it.